Good evening, everyone. This is Ron Tyler with Emergency Management Associates, coming to you live from the Crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. The time right now is 6, actually it's not 6. Hold on a second here. Let's get out of that frame. It is now 6:58 p.m. Sorry about that. It is 6:58 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time on Saturday, April 4th, 2020. Happy April 4th, everyone. We made it to the weekend. My phone is clicking, click, 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 clang, clang, clang. Earthquakes are hitting. What I want to do first is I want to take you to the Anza Gap, the Anza Borrego State Park in California, where we've been having all of these earthquakes today in California. First off, I want to show you this. Just a minute ago, I mean just a minute ago, when I first brought up the map, it said 200 plus. Then I widened it out. I punched up to 200. Now I'm showing all those earthquakes and even out to sea. This is a Salton Sea right here. This is a Salton Sea right here. This is north of there, out north and east of the Salton Sea is where they have Anza Borrego National Park. It starts at the top of the mountain over here in the Anza Borrego area. It's a forested area at the top of the Chocolate Mountains, and then it drops over to the desert. Okay, I'm sorry, it drops over to the desert over here. This is land. This is land over in San Diego County, North San Diego County. Now, folks, this is out to sea. We have an earthquake here. I'm sorry it started disappearing because I let it sit there. We have a 1.59 magnitude earthquake just off the coast of La Jolla, California. Just off the coast of north of La Jolla, California, 10 miles southwest of La Jolla. Now, La Jolla is a ritzy part of San Diego. That's where a lot of celebrities live and work, is in La Jolla. Now, I've been there, I surfed there. I used to surf on La Jolla shores and then go north of there to Torrey Pines. We used to surf over there. We had an earthquake, a 1.59 magnitude earthquake off the coast of La Jolla. It's associated with all of these earthquakes over here in the Anza Borrego Desert. Okay, that's what's going on there. Now, I just got a message from somebody that lives 40 miles outside of Anza Borrego Desert. They just said there's no way in heck that earthquake was a 4.9. It was a lot stronger than that, and there was a P wave, and then there was a long rolling S wave to that earthquake. Okay, a long rolling S wave to that earthquake. Okay, I want to show you this. I just zoomed in. All these aftershocks and the main shock were just west of this magma layer. Not a magnum layer, I'm sorry, a lava field. A solid, cold lava field. In the summertime, it's hot. And now it's probably about 80 degrees out there in the desert right now. But it's right next to that lava flow. Okay? There's where the earthquakes are hitting. The majority of them. Now we have well over 200 earthquakes out there. Well over 200 earthquakes that have hit this area since last night. Again, I just got a memo, a text from somebody that lived out or lives out there, and it was a lot stronger than a 4.9. We all assume that. Now, I have not been able to get a straight answer out of the USGS. Now, I'm going to go over to the USGS right now just to see if they even show that 4.9 on the map. If they do, we're going to check again the magnitude of this earthquake. We'll check it again. No, I think they've taken it down. By all appearances, yes, they've taken this down. I'm just going to check something real quick, if it's going to allow me to do it. Hey, they're going to allow me to see it. I've had issues with getting into this since it happened. And yesterday, it wouldn't even show me any details of this earthquake. Okay, I want to show you this. That way you can witness it yourself. Okay, a 4.9 magnitude earthquake, 17 kilometers. Now this is about 9 miles southeast of Anza, California. Anza, California is up at the top. It starts at the top of the Chocolate Mountains, like I pointed out, and it goes down to the desert, which is the Imperial Valley. Okay, let's see what they say here. You're kidding me. Gosh, this is stupid. These people must think we're stupid. They're showing this as an 8.7 magnitude earthquake. Okay. Again, it says a 4.9 here, but down here it says a 4.87. Now, there's still no, gosh, I was pointing at my screen. Of course, you're not going to see my finger. Here's the cursor. It says no station details. Look at this, folks. There are station details for a 5.09 magnitude earthquake. 245 stations are reporting it as a 5.09. Then they have another sensor here, or excuse me, not another sensor, 245 stations that are reporting that they're willing to show us details on. It says it was a 4.74. I just got through telling you, eyewitness accounts 40 miles away from the epicenter, and they knew how strong it was 40 miles away. There's no way it was a 4.9. Now here's another group of sensors. Again, this time it's 166 sensors that say it was 5.16. USGS, get your act together. It was either a 4.9, which you're not even showing here. You're showing a 4.87, or it was a 5.09, or it was a 4.74, or it was a 5.16. Now, I'm not going to go over and go through 166 sensors, but I just clicked on station details. Magnitude-wise, 4.76, a 4.97, a 4.89, a 5.68, a 5.33, a 5.13, 5.03, 4.13, 4.9, 5.09, 5.35, 5.41, 5.67, 5.14, 5.01, 5.20. Now, I'm not going to go much further. I'm just going to scroll through here so everyone here can see what's going on. There are a lot of 5s, and they're showing a lot of 4s. Okay? There's no way. They're trying to justify this earthquake to be a 4.9 or a 4.78 or a 5.16. Here's a 5.83 here, 5.71. Then they have some lower range magnitudes of 537, 506, 514. I believe it's all fudged. Do you know what I mean? Fudged meaning lies. 5.78 again. And yet you're supposed to throw out the high end and the low end, add up all the magnitudes and divide by the number of earthquakes to come up with the average sensor reading. That's how they do it. And of course, it's all computerized. And they can also tell the computer anything they want it to know. Data can be changed. Data can be changed. Here's a 570 again, 540, 572. Okay, and we're not even halfway through these earthquakes. We're not even halfway through these earthquakes. As you can see by the level here, we can scroll through here, the scroll bar here. We have a lot more earthquakes to look at. Probably well over 200 and some odd earthquakes that they first said it was. Because every time I've gone through these earthquakes like this, there's a lot more sensors than they give us credit for. Okay, and of course they would end like a 4.89. Okay, have I made my point? I think I made my point. This was a lot larger earthquake. They don't even want to be truthful with the level of earthquake that it was. Okay, so, but since then, we've also had a 3.5 magnitude quake north of there, out in the desert, out in the San Bernardino County desert, in Tehachapi, climbing through the mountains, leaving Los Angeles, going towards Las Vegas. The area is called Tehachapi. There's 4 lanes of road going in each direction, leaving the metro area of Los Angeles, headed out to the desert and ultimately out to Las Vegas. Tehachapi had a 3.5 today. Okay, that's what they're telling us. We've also got an earthquake out here in Alamo, Nevada. Now, Alamo started showing up late last summer. We had 1.2s and 2.3s and 3.5s out in Alamo, Nevada. We're still getting 2.5 magnitude earthquakes out in Alamo, Nevada. And that's fine and dandy. Now, the US agency is also reporting a magnitude 2.7 earthquake here in Magna, Utah, over near the epicenter. This is an aftershock. But there isn't just one earthquake over in Salt Lake City. There's just not one aftershock. Now, it's been just over 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks. It hit 2 weeks ago Thursday. So now we're Saturday, almost 2.5 weeks in. And they're reporting only one earthquake? No. Okay, what about this earthquake? What about this earthquake up in Idaho? Remember this? March 31st? March 31st? We're still getting a bazillion, not quite that many, I'm being funny, but we're still getting quite a number of aftershocks over here in Idaho, outside of Challis, Idaho, the westernmost point of the Yellowstone magma chamber. Okay. Now, what I see is I hate to call this a phrase from Smokey and the Bandit. But what this government agency has done shows a complete disregard for the law. Yeah, Sheriff Buford T. Justice of Alabama, a complete disrespect for the law. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture in just a minute. I'm looking at all my my emergency management associate pictures that I have downloaded for the for this channel and for seminars that I've given and such like that. And I'm going to pull up the Idaho earthquake. I'm going to show you something. I hope it's here. Yes, it is. I'm hoping it shows. I have a feeling it didn't download properly. I have a feeling it didn't download properly. Nope, it didn't. Darn it. No, it didn't download properly. I guess I'm not going to show you that earthquake. I had a picture of it. I had a picture of the fault. There's a small little fault that goes down through that same area. Okay. Whoa, we just had another earthquake there. Let me show you. It just came up as I was leaving. Yes, we just had another earthquake there in Idaho. This time 67 kilometers, which is just about 40 miles east of Cascade, Idaho, still over in the Chalice, Idaho area, out in the forest area. This whole area is not occupied. It's uninhabited. And now we've had another earthquake up on the north side. This was a 2.7. So we've had a 2.7 and another 2.5 magnitude earthquake just now here in Idaho. It's still going on. We're still getting aftershocks, a large number of aftershocks a week later, just as we would expect from a pretty good sized earthquake. Okay, it was a 6.5 earthquake. And we expect to get aftershocks for anywhere from months to years from an earthquake like that. Is it surprising? No, not at all. But folks, we've got bigger fish to fry. Okay, we have bigger fish to fry. Earlier today, I was over on the Emergency Management Associates YouTube channel, and I put out an earthquake advisory for the next 7 to 10 days. This is the following is my advisory. The next major earthquake will be between last night's earthquake over in the Anza-Borrego Desert, Anza-Borrego State Park, northeast of San Diego, and the Mexico border. There is a very good possibility that that's where the next major quake is going to be. We have had a 7.0 magnitude earthquake in 2010 over near the Mexican border on the United States side of the Mexican border near Mexicali. And it created a lot of damage in Mexicali, El Centro, Holtville, all that entire area in the Imperial Valley did a lot of damage. It rocked skyscrapers. And yes, there were even some broken windows over in San Diego County itself. Okay, but there's also a good possibility that this earthquake, the next major earthquake, could happen in the same area of Anza-Borrego State Park. Now, if it does hit there, even if we have the earthquake near the border, it's going to be felt all the way up into Los Angeles and maybe further, especially if it is a 7.0 to an 8.0 earthquake. And that's what we're forecasting. That's what we're forecasting. But folks, this next big one will open up the area to start the progression of a new inland sea. Remember the new Navy map? Remember the new Navy map? Maybe I need to look it up real quick. Maybe I'll just look it up real quick. Okay. The new Navy map. There are quite a few maps. There are quite a few maps. And I'm going to show you what most people hypothesize that the area is going to look like. Just a second here. Okay, I found it. I'm going to show it to you. This is one scenario with this, okay? This came from an article by Jim Dobson, okay? Senior contributor to Travel, okay? Now, as you can see, the Gulf of California is right in here. It runs from down here near central Mexico and goes up here just south of the border with the United States and Mexico. And yes, there's probably about 100 miles. There's about 100 miles separating the present day United States from the Gulf of Mexico. Okay? When this earthquake hits, it could start the progression of what we see here on the new Navy map, with areas of Utah, Nevada, areas of Nevada, Utah, the majority of Utah underwater again. Again, once upon a time, about 1 million years ago, there used to be a lake called the Great Bonneville Lake, and it covered most of the state of Utah. Probably over in Zion National Park, there were islands where the mountains stick up right now, but only part of the mountain was visible because the rest of it was underwater. Right here, you can see the state of Utah. Only the northernmost point up here, which might include Salt Lake, and it might not. It might include just the very northern part of Idaho up near Logan, Utah. That's what it looks like. It covers, the water would cover Nevada and parts of Oregon. Yeah, parts of Oregon. And up into Washington here. It would change the face of Washington. It looks to me like this map would show everything up to Spokane, covered in water, which would make Spokane or a nearby area a new port city. A new port city. But this won't happen immediately like this. It's not going to. It's not going to. What is going to probably happen is this. Let's go back here. Let's go back here. Let me find it. Let me go back here and find it. No, that's not it. There's some maps show most of Idaho underwater as well. Okay, I'm just trying to find this one map that would show the middle part of California underwater, and the western part still sticking up out of the ground, high and dry, but the westernmost part high and dry, the middle of the state covered in water. I'm just trying to find this. I may have to show you something similar to what I'm saying so you can kind of get an idea. It's not giving me the map that I wanted to see. No, it's not going to show me the Navy map that I want to see. Let me try this. No, that's actually not the map I want to see either. There was a Navy map that showed the state of California split up. And that's what I'm looking for. Oh, that's kind of weird. Okay, it's not showing what I wanted to show you. Basically, we all know where California is. There will be a body of water separating the two sides of California, the west side and the east side, and a body of water going up to the northern part of California. Okay, so a body of water separating the two halves of California. In doing so, millions of people would get killed. But for the most part, if the earth just doesn't open up into a fissure like this and separate, and the ocean doesn't come flooding up here and burying millions of people and farmland and everything else, I believe it's going to be a fissure opening up just like this. Okay, and it's going to go up towards Northern California. Now, up there is called Pyramid Lake. Pyramid Lake. Let me go up here. Maybe I can find Pyramid Lake. And I can show you Pyramid Lake. Okay, the reason they call it Pyramid Lake is this. There are rocks jutting up out of the lake, just like this. And they are great big lava domes coming out of the volcano. This is a volcano, folks. This is a volcano. Now, what we are seeing is this. Okay, what we are seeing is this. See this fracture? This is Pyramid Lake. See this fracture? This goes all the way down through the state of California. What we believe is going to happen is there's going to be a series of huge monster major earthquakes. And it could start with this earthquake that we are expecting from this Anza Borrego State Park earthquake. Okay, that earthquake that I just showed you out there in Anza Borrego Desert. Okay, and the water from the Gulf of Mexico coming in through that gorge, that fissure in the earth, and filling it in. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Now, while we are looking at that, I want to talk to you for a minute. Okay, what we think is going to happen is this. The ground around the Anza Gap area, Anza Borrego State Park, has been lifting up and down where the epicenter was of this earthquake. And that includes the trees, the whole ground lifting up and dropping back down. Why? Magma, folks, magma. And the earth, the plates are moving. The American plate, where the United States is, the North American plate, it's moving over the top of the Pacific plate. The Pacific plate is subducting under the North American plate. Okay? During this subduction process, we have earthquakes. There's also what? A volcano out there at the Salton Sea? Yeah, there is. And south of that, there's the Cerro Prado volcano as well. There's magma underneath the earth over there, folks. Now, we know for a fact that that ground in the Anza Gap is lifting. The activity last night not only opened the fissures, but put pressure on the plate, and it shifted. That is why we're having so many aftershocks. The plate is adjusting for the amount of force that was exerted during that earthquake, excuse me. The amount of force that was exerted to move the earth there, to move the plate. The plate is adjusting. The water weight that are in the tunnels underneath the earth there are adding more pressure to the already weakened plate. Yes, there's tunnels underneath the earth down there, and the tunnels are being filled up. A lot of them are probably already filled. The magma in the area has thinned the crust due to the increased heat. Now, we've spoken about this when we've talked about the radiation from the solar flares, the solar wind radiation, and the cosmic radiation that has been coming through our weakened magnetosphere. Magnetosphere is that area of magnetized pressure out in space surrounding the Earth, protecting us from asteroids and meteors and other space debris from coming in and penetrating our atmosphere and smashing into the Earth. That's what the magnetosphere does. Now, because we're in an active solar minimum, a grand solar minimum, the magnetosphere has thinned out. It's like paper, thinned out. It's allowing that cosmic radiation, that solar radiation in through our atmosphere and it's heating up the plates. In doing so, it's acting like grease between the plates, making it easier for the plate to move. Remember that analogy I used, that analogy that I used a while back, showing sandpaper between the two plates, creating friction. And when the sandpaper was gone, the radiation heating up the earth dissolved that sand and grit and released the plates were able to release that pressure because the sandpaper, the grit was gone, the friction was gone. That's what's happening. The heat heats up the plates, dissolving the friction, allowing the plates to move, causing an earthquake, causing fracturing. The magma in the area has thinned the crust in this area due to increased heat from below the earth and the radiation coming in through our atmosphere. Any activity now could set off a chain reaction that can cause multiple quakes as the plate fractures. Remember the Garlock plate, folks? It's not the plate, the Garlock fault that we found out about once we got information about the Ridgecrest earthquake. Yeah, that plate or that fault that goes kind of northeast to southwest towards Los Angeles. Yeah, that one. Okay. The Garlock fault was hit hard and is opening that area. The San Jacinto fault over near the Mount San Jacinto and Lake Elsinore, which has the Elsinore fault. Remember us talking about that? The San Jacinto fault will get a little more action and push the energy north to Ridgecrest. And then who knows what is going to happen. I think we know. I think we know. Folks, we've seen what happens. We've seen what happens. Whatever starts it will be followed by more and larger earthquakes, followed again by more and larger. Earlier today, I said, get ready to move. And I'm going to say it again. Get ready to move. The magma in that area, is heating up the plate, as well as the radiation heating up the plate, causing the earthquakes. Get out. Don't wait to watch for the next earthquake. If you are in that area, get out. Watch from the sidelines. I said it this morning, I'm going to say it again. This is not a game. This is for real. Fortunately for many people, the area of the Anza Gap is not that populated. On the north side, we have Idlewild, a small mountain town in the San Bernardino County Mountains. Yes, a small mountain town. It could be decimated by an earthquake. And I'll bet, now I have not talked to anybody in the Idlewild town. I've not talked to anybody there, but I will bet that they felt this earthquake. They are north of that earthquake, but they are still in the Anza Gap, where all these other earthquakes that we've been pointing out over the past months are. You've seen the 1s and the 2s and the 2.5s. Well, now they've gotten bigger. Okay, get ready for more. We're already seeing magnitude 5 earthquakes. Between the solar flares, the solar and cosmic radiation, the friction area between the earthquake faults, the plates, the heat has reduced that friction and made it like grease between the plates. The plates are moving. How much more is it going to take for your house to fall? How much more is it going to take for your house to fall? And I'm serious about it, folks. I'm serious. I'm asking you, how much more is it going to take for your house to fall? And this whole area up to Pyramid Lake in Northern California being filled with water. This whole area here being filled with water from Northern California all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. And believe you me, over near the Gulf of Mexico, this area of water is going to be quite wide. Quite wide. Okay. So we need to really be thinking about what's going on. Now, before we go much further, I want to take you back to the lakes, to the earthquakes that we have going on today. Okay, we're going to only talk about the large earthquakes around the world. Okay, we already seen what's going on over on the southwest coast of the United States, northeastern San Diego County. Let's go over here to the Kamchatka Peninsula. Come on. Here it is. See where that blue dot here is? Over on the eastern side, east central side of the Kamchatka Peninsula. What is this? The Aleutian Island chain. We've talked about the Aleutian Island chain quite a bit. Earlier today, we had a 5.4 magnitude earthquake. 5.4 magnitude earthquake. Where is this going? Where's this seismic energy going to go? It's going to go through the Aleutian Islands. There's a very good possibility it could get trapped here in Alaska, where we've got about 50 or 60 earthquakes already today. Or it can continue through the Aleutian Island chain, go through the Gulf of Alaska, and come right down here along the Cascadia subduction area and end up here at the Juan de Fuca plate, and could set off the Juan de Fuca, could set off Cascadia. Excuse me, folks. I'm sorry. My crazy cursor doesn't want to settle down. I only want to open it up a little bit. Okay. Like I said, that's where that is. It's already on the Aleutian Island chain, on the fault. And it can come right up here into Alaska. It could come up here. It could follow the Aleutian Island chain and come right back down here to the west coast of North America. Queen Charlotte's Island, Vancouver Island, the Juan de Fuca here, and cause the Cascadia. There's a lot of seismic energy locked up here. There's a lot of seismic energy locked up here in the Pacific Northwest. We've talked about this. Or it could come down here to the bottom of the Cascadia area, Cascadia subduction zone, and lock up here and cause a large earthquake here. We've seen large earthquakes hit here. Or it could continue down the fault and come down here to Southern California, which is what we saw happen July 4th last year. First, it stopped at Queen Charlotte's Island up here and dumped off a 6.3, and 24 hours later, it came down here and hit Ridgecrest. This is Tehachapi earthquake today. Ridgecrest is south and east of Tehachapi, where you see my cursor. That's what happened on July 4th and 5th. Two 6.9s and a 7.1. And then they downgraded one of the 6.9s to a 6.5 And then they said the other 6.9 didn't really exist. And yet I have a screenshot showing it did. 2 separate locations for a 6.9 earthquake. And USGS took it away and said, oh, that didn't happen. BS. Okay. But that's what happened up in the Kamchatka Peninsula today. Okay. 5.4 earthquake. Down here in South Java, we had a large 5.0 magnitude earthquake, 26 miles south-southeast of Tegal Reo, Indonesia, South Java. We also had a large earthquake over here in the Solomon Islands, the Western Solomon Islands. Okay, this was 88 kilometers south-southwest of Shirvanga, Solomon Islands. Just east of there, also in the eastern Solomon Islands, we had a 4.8 moderate earthquake. And this could have been larger. I haven't done the research for it. I've been too busy. This could have been larger. This one could have been larger too. This one, Solomon Islands, a 5.0. But today we also had another earthquake over in Tonga. A 5.3 large earthquake hit Tonga early this morning, 121 kilometers east-northeast of Pangai, Tonga. And we've seen large earthquakes in Pangai, Tonga area. Now this was 121 kilometers, about 70 miles. Pangai, Tonga might have had some vibrations. Again, the waters of the ocean absorb the seismic energy. And people on the islands and over on other land aren't going to feel it. We had another earthquake over here in the South Sandwich Islands this morning, a 5.1 there. So we had a 5.1 there and a 5.1 over here in the South Java area of Indonesia. Okay. USGS is also telling us about 2 earthquakes over in Chile today. Over in Chile and Argentina area today. A 4.2 in Iquique, Chile, where we had an 8.0 earthquake. An 8.0 earthquake about 2011 or something like that. And further south over here in Zonda, Argentina, at the Chilean-Argentine border, we had a 4.9, 5.0 large earthquake. These weren't the only earthquakes that happened. Again, USGS does not want to tell us about it. And that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So we had a large earthquake there. We had a large earthquake in Indonesia. We had another one over in the Solomon Islands, and another one over here in Tonga. We've had 5.0 earthquakes, actually 6, counting this one over off the east coast of Kamchatka. 6 large 5-pointers or larger. Okay, this isn't the end of it. There's going to be a lot more. If you watched the program about planetary movement, planetary alignments, done by Deutrinium, I think he goes by. You can look up his website or check out his earthquake videos on YouTube. He talks about planetary alignments, a 90-degree planetary alignment that's happening right now. Right now. And that may be responsible for all these earthquakes. But he also talked about all these earthquakes. Okay. But he also talked about the possibility of a 6.5 to an 8.0 earthquake. And isn't that what we've been talking about right now? We talked about earlier this afternoon on our Emergency Management Associates channel. And we're going to talk about again later in a little while. Because we don't have much longer on this program, because I promised Alicia that we'd get off of here and let them have it for karaoke night here, which we are going to do in another 12 minutes. But I wanted to come here. And yes, I got here an hour late, and I'm sorry about that. But we'll continue this discussion over on YouTube channel. But folks, that's not the only thing I wanted to talk to you about. Earlier, or actually it was last night, when I got the memo late last night, that the United States has now literally dissolved the Constitution of the United States. Okay? True story. True story. Dissolved the Constitution of the United States. Not my doing. Not my doing. Apparently, there was an insider from the Department of Homeland Security that put out a memo. And he said that martial law may be declared as early as tomorrow, locking down our entire country. And some of you, I sent a link. I sent a link to the video that talks about this. Okay. Now, his video is about 25 minutes long and talks about the Constitution of the United States being dissolved, martial law being declared, and nobody, not nobody, double negative, not nobody, 3 times means I'm serious. Nobody leaving their house, not for groceries, not for anything. We have been asked in most places in this country, only 16 states remain, to not have a lockdown in place. And now the story is, and no, I did not watch the presentation by the coronavirus task force, COVID-19 task force today. Not yet. I will. But now they're talking about this lockdown happening as early as tomorrow evening. And there's plenty of references. There's plenty of references that he's posted here. naturallawnews.com, Bloomberg.com, Industry Week, autorevolution.com, NewYorkTimes.com, technologyreview.com, another one from Bloomberg News or Bloomberg.com/news/videos. It's all here. Jacob Inmag, JACUB, INMAG.com, dailygazette.com, and 2 more New York Times articles apparently, and thehill.com, policy and technology. Policy/technology. Okay, thehill.com. Folks, it's getting serious. Now, we have voluntarily gone along with the lockdown to prevent us from getting the coronavirus. Okay? Today was the first time in 2 weeks that I went outside, but I was wearing this little number. We've voluntarily been locked up in our homes. In southern Utah, the sheriff in southern Utah has made it a Class B misdemeanor to leave your house. If you get found and arrested, you're going to be charged with a Class B misdemeanor. A Class A is 1 step below a felony. one step below a felony. But it's not just that. Earlier today, we were told that the United States has moved trips. Boy, isn't that funny? The United States has moved troops over to Colombia, right beside the Venezuela-Colombia border, to go after the former President Maduro, that's still trying to hold on to power in Venezuela. And what is Russia going to think about that? They're not going to like that, because they've also got Russian troops in Venezuela. And whoever else, along with Russia, would go against the President of the United States? You're right, the Democrat communists, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and her gang. Okay? Folks, it's getting to be time where we're going to be asked to stand up for truth and righteousness. We're going to be asked to stand up for that which is right, period. Which side are we going to be on? You already know where I'm going to be. Now, you already know. It's very apparent from what I've already told you. We're in a lot of trouble. We've got the coronavirus on one hand to deal with, and the rules and laws of different states that are preventing us from getting within 6 feet of each other or going out of our homes. Yeah. We have a lot of decisions to make. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I know the decisions that I've made, and I hope you guys have made some decisions too. Earlier today, I asked for everyone to get their emergency preparedness kits in order today, in case they lock the United States down where you can't even go to the store. We went and got supplies. We had another way of getting some supplies, but we chose not to use that way. We used our own funds to buy groceries and such in case we get locked down. We have plenty of food now, plenty of food, and we'll be fine. But will you? Will you? That's my question to you. Get your emergency preparedness kits in order now, if not sooner. That's what I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again now. Get your emergency preparedness plans in order while you're under a shutdown, lockdown in your home now. You have the time. And then discuss it with your families. If you're an owner of a business, go call, FaceTime your other managers. Come up with an emergency plan and what you're going to do. We don't have much more time. It's the fourth quarter, 2 minutes are left, and we're at the 10-yard line, literally. It's the 9th inning with 2 outs. And Babe Ruth is up to bat. Tony Gwynn is up to bat. Tony Gwynn is a player for the Padres. He was an awesome man, an awesome hitter. He had a ton of home runs. Passed away from cancer a few years back. Wonderful man that I had a chance to meet a long, long time ago. Folks, get your plans in order. If you have a business, talk with your associate managers, your co-owner, or whatever you have. Talk with them. Put this in emergency plan into effect immediately. Preserve your business. If you have questions on how to do it, call me. Call me. That's what I do. It's called business continuity. I've written dozens of emergency plans for businesses. I've helped families put together emergency preparedness plans. I've worked with churches writing emergency preparedness plans. I have a lot of experience. Let me know. Folks, we just got a couple more minutes here. I want to tell you how serious I am. Let me know if I can help you. Those of you that have sent me emails the last 2 days that I haven't had a chance to get to all of them, I will today, tonight, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's a Sabbath for most people. Not everybody. Some of them started on Friday and go into Saturday. That's fine. Get your preparedness plans in order. Talk to the Lord about your questions. Talk to me. I'll be happy to help. But get it done, because we're in the 9th inning with 2 outs and Babe Ruth up to bat. We could hit a home run or we could fly out. It's the 4th quarter of the football game. We're at the 10-yard line with 2 minutes to go. What are we going to do? Are we going to punt and maybe make it between the goalposts? What is your strategy? Don't tell anybody but yourself, your spouse. If you want to bring me into it, that's what I do. I get paid for it. But make your plans and make them now. Folks, I will see you over on YouTube in just a few minutes. God bless you. Do know that we love you. Have fun at karaoke night. As Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. Saturday, April 4th, 2019. For Emergency Management Associates, this is Ron Tyler. Have a great night. Let's do that. Good night, everybody. See you later. See you in a bit.